What if Will Smith had done something far worse than slapping Chris Rock? During the 94th Academy Awards on March 27, 2022, actor Will Smith composed himself after hearing a joke Chris Rock had told about his wife, walked on stage, then dog slapped comedian Chris Rock into reconsidering whether it was even smart to have ever wanted to host that night. Now, this here was far more tame compared to what happened next. Will Smith went on to win his first ever Oscar for playing semi-abusive father Richard Williams in King Richard. Now, everybody on social media, including Chris Rock's peers, were all going like,
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
But couldn't it have been a lot worse than just an Oscar win? You see, I have this alter ego who shall remain nameless at this point, and his main purpose in life is to darken people's right to fame, pulling from what could have been an alternate reality, using pre-existing tropes or incidents to fornicate into existence, a fanboy's worst nightmare. But this ain't really the point of it all. It's more to ponder on what could have been and whether we would still support such being considering all their flaws. Like the true crime that is Eminem's Kim episode released a couple months ago, or the up-and-coming true crime that is Mark Wahlberg that I'm still working on. Now, in Will's case, just go ahead and take away the thought of what it would look like if his life was a true crime. The question one can actually ask themselves is, what if Will Smith never hit Chris Rock, but instead softly destroyed Chris Rock's career? Because I remember this. Will Smith already have that kind of power to get someone off his own show. Remember the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? And it wasn't even at his prime when he did that. And although said person had since taken accountability for what transpired, considering other known incidents that shouldn't have been dismissed about Will's character, it shouldn't be far-fetched to believe he could have been able to blackball Chris Rock, at least when it comes to movies.
Stay with me.
Now, a quick question. What does Jim Caviezel, Wesley Snipes, Linda Fiorentino, Cat Williams, and more have in common? They were all blackballed by fellow actors, not Hollywood producers and studios. I've noticed this for way too long. When allies are formed in Hollywood, oftentimes you're gonna hear the same names being brought up.
Harvey Weinstein.
Thank you, Harvey Weinstein.
Especially Harvey.
Brad, I love you.
I think they got my name wrong. Yeah, it's Mrs. Pitt. Brad is right here, so I'm hey Brad Pitt.
And the reason why this is done is to show their support, towards that person, towards said person, to make them understand that they are on the same page. But it's also saying to whoever that is against them that from now on, they're only going to be known as difficult to work with in Hollywood. And being known as someone who is difficult to work with in Hollywood is in fact a career killer. But yeah, the fun thing about it is, when has being difficult to work with ever stopped anyone from getting their bag with these people over here? One can even say maybe the reason why they were easy target was because they didn't contribute enough to the box office success of any movie that they were in. Well, again, that proved my point, because same can be said for Chris Rock as a movie star. It would have been a lot more of a stretch if he wasn't a stand-up comedian turned actor. Bref, all I'm trying to say is, Will Smith could have just gracefully taken a joke, won the Oscar, gave a speech, all the while reminding the world of his wife's known condition. If done correctly, behind the scene, things would have been set in motion, and Chris Rock, instead of a stand-up special about how the slap made him stronger, he would have had to go on a apology tour and eventually maybe ended up telling the dark truth about how his allies couldn't have saved him against Will's allies.